Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Clueless Dad. Today we're going to go over a Bx1880, which is your entry-level model into the BX lineup for the subcompact tractors. This model, you can get a loader put on it, which would be an LA340 with a 4-foot front bucket. This one currently, you can see it does not have mower deck underneath of it. You can get a 48-inch mower deck, you can get a 54-inch mower deck. Those are all PTO shaft driven decks. You cannot get a backhoe on these models, but they do come with a 3-point hitch in the back. So if you wanted to run a tiller, small brush hog, those kind of things off the back, you can do that. There is a rear PTO. So just kind of starting at the back, you can kind of see this model. I have that ROP system kind of folded down to show you if you need more room getting in your garage or anything like that, you have the room to do that with. It does have your slow moving sign. You can see your 3-point hitch here at the bottom with your top link. So if you wanted to hook up anything, you can. You can actually see back here at the back, this yellow plug, that's your fill plug for your hydraulics in this tractor. The full hydraulics of this tractor holds about 3 gallons of UDT2, roughly. The rest of UDT2 is in that front axle, which I'm going to show you. That fill plug holds about 5 quarts of UDT fluid. So I'm going to show you a little bit more in depth that today. This model is 4-wheel drive. It is hydrostatic. The 1880 in this model has 16 horsepower roughly. PTO output power, you're about 13.8, 13.7. The fuel tank on this, it is a diesel. It does hold 6.6 gallons. So you can mow a whole heck of a lot with this and not have to fill up. One thing you are going to notice that is different on this from the BX is if you look at the video I'm going to put at the end of this link, at the end of this, it's my Bx23S. You're going to see those have an updated seat. Basically like the Bx2380s, 2680s have armrests. These do not come with that. This model is your base model. It's going to have your hydrostatic pedal, your forward and reverse. It's going to have a parking brake, a brake. It's going to have your 3-point restriction valve in the center there. It's going to have your adjustment for your mower deck height. It is going to have a locking rear differential, like I said. So I mean, everything else is pretty much the same. These models do come with glow plugs. Run those glow plugs all the time, no matter what the weather is. It just helps that engine start a lot easier, and it's gives you a lot more life out of that motor. Your throttle is up here. It does give you on the dash, it is the same dash as your other BXs, even the ones with the backhoes. That's why you do see loader backhoe on that. But you know, you kind of judge that for what you're going to use a loader for, or a mower deck. A good mower deck RPM in one of these or any of them is roughly 2300 RPMs, but you feel that for what your yard is, what your grass height is, if it's wet, if it's dry, dead, whatever you may be mowing. So underneath you're going to see a little twist knob. That's where your battery is located, underneath of there. I do have the hood up on this model just to show you a little bit more on it. But one thing I do want to cover with you is the wheels and tires on these models. This one currently has turf tires on it, which you've seen me do before. These are a smaller tire and wheel on a Bx1880 than the predecessor models, which are the 2380s, 2680s, 23Ss. This model, underneath the hood, you do have a coolant overflow jug. Your air filter is easy to get to. Your radiator's here. On all BX models, all tractors completely, there is a fan here, fan blade, and you take this up, and this basically collects hay, grass. It's just a fan cover for the radiator. You clean that out every time you get done mowing, whatever you may be doing, because if that collects grass or hay or dirt, anything it collects, it's going to make the tractor overheat. You don't want to do that to this tractor. So keep that cleaned out. That helps it. One thing you're going to see on the side of this motor, you're going to see your hydraulic or your engine oil filter here, I'm sorry. Your motor oil fill plug is here, dipstick is here. Now, one thing I haven't covered in the other ones, and I'm going to show you on this one, the hydraulic filter is underneath the tractor about where my finger is. There's another fuel filter underneath that tractor about in that spot also. I do have the hood lifted because I did want to show you a little bit more in depth on this model today. So right here, you can actually see that fill plug for the hydraulic fluid for the front steering is here. You can see one of those fuel filters is right here. They're both the same. So it's easy to find. If you replace fuel filters on these tractors, please replace them both at the same time. Don't do them separately. One thing to remember also is when you change fuel filters on these, there is no petcock or shutoff valve at the fuel tank. So whatever fuel's in it, if you haven't closed those lines off, you're going to wear the fuel that's in that tank. So just remember that when you go to change them. So the hood is made of metal. You can see it all the way around. The hood you just pull down, you latch the hood. This is your latch to unlatch it. Really, really nice. You can see the frame on this model is really, really thick, really, really rigid. Gives you a lot of stability. You're going to see on this side, just like on previous tractors, you're going to see your PTO levers for adjustments wherever you may want them. You're going to see that axle lock for the differential and adjustment for a deck. The seat on this does move forward and backward, but again, it does not have armrests. You do have the cubby hole with the power outlet in it, and you'll also see the famous peanut lights in the back. These are the famous peanut lights that everybody brakes on them. It seems like if you're going to hit something with a tractor, those peanut lights are the ones that get it first. So most of your dealers keep those in stock because they know it. The ones right below them, which are the red lights, the red backup, your stop lights, those are the second most replaced. They just happen. Service on this machine is 50 hours. So 50 hours, you want to get that engine oil filter, you want to get your engine oil replaced, which is roughly 3.3 quarts of fluid. So you can get that replaced at your dealer, or you can do it at home. You want to replace your hydraulic filter at that service also. The hydraulic filter, when you replace it, you got to be fast with your next hydraulic filter to put it on, because you're not changing all the hydraulic fluid. You're only changing the fluid that dropped out of it, which is less than a quart if you're fast. So that's what you really want to do when you do that. Then of course check your air filters, your fuel filters, just check over the tractor, check all your grease points like you normally do, and that's about your first service. Doing a full hydraulic fluid service, you're really not due for one of those until roughly 400 hours on one of these, which takes a whole heck of a lot of time to get you to that amount of time. So these are really nice tractors. This model here is your base model, so you can actually see on the side of the tractor there's no hydraulic valve there. So if you wanted to add a loader to this tractor, you need to put a hydraulic valve on it. You need to put a frame and a loader on it and those type of things. Like I said before, the loader that goes on this is an LA340, which is basically the same loader that you've seen me do on a BX23S. There's just an LA340S, because that loader comes as a package with that tractor. That's why it's named differently, but same loader. So just going over the tractor head to toe, the warranty on this tractor, 2 years bumper to bumper. The powertrain is 6 years. Really, really nice. When you buy one of these tractors, if you finance it, Kubota has a thing called insurance, KTAC insurance. You really want to ask about that insurance. It's rollover protection. Protects you if you have a rollover. It's basically like insurance you'd have on your car. You really want to ask your dealer about that. It's a nice thing to have on one of these. And again, thank you for watching the Clueless Dad. Stay tuned for more videos. Have a great day.